There he is.
Wow. That is the most fucking Harry Houdini shit ever that you just pulled.
Greetings and salutations. Fuck it, let's just start without him. Boom, I'm in.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
This was literally like we were talking about what are we gonna do like without you. I mean, I figured you'd hop on later, but I fully expected you to not show up and just be, Drader doing whatever you thing.
Here's how high I am.
The intro, and then you just appeared into the background. It was fucking magical. I love it.
I heard the noise, the Chumpcast sound. Boom, ba-dum. And I was like, boop, genie appeared. Here's how high I am. I could not find this thing for my headset, so I could not use my headset. That's why I was like frantically looking everywhere.
Cover me
the
from
Arctic series.
My doorbell just rang.
The Arctic series. Yeah, no, I couldn't hear or use anything. That's how not high I am. I realized that my mic wasn't going to work properly, so then I made some adjustments. Also didn't tell you guys at all, so left you guys brutally in the dark.
You just thought you were napping.
Could have been. I've been playing Civ.
What is that?
Civilization 6? No, it's an old game. Civilization 6. It's on Xbox. They made some adjustments though recently that like the DLC made the game completely different. But I was building the ultimate Canadian empire. I was spreading the don't you know religion everywhere.
Don't you? What goes into Canadian empire? Just like everyone plays hockey.
They can make specialty like amenities, which are ice hockey units, which are sick. But yeah, I was lucky enough to have my own little island, my own little Canadian island, and I've like just built my entire civilization off of all these, like the Colosseum, all these natural wonders. Just been killing it. That's why I couldn't stop playing. Also, I was just ripped as balls. I was just couldn't be higher, being like, I am the emperor of this entire world. So good.
Of this Canadian island.
I picked this background because I was like, Brick's gonna hop on here. I know he's stoned as fuck, and this is gonna freak out.
That's some aggressive eyes. Is that a fake bird? Is that a fake owl?
No, it's a real bird. It's not an owl. I don't know what kind of bird it is, but
caught you in a lie because no birds are real, dude. They're all fake.
Dude, you fucking got me. I'm so sorry.
Speaking of eyes, I saw what happened to Cormier in the fight.
Okay. Stipe Miocic and Daniel Cormier fought last night. It was one of the worst fights I've ever seen, especially for a title fight. And they just kind of kept poking each other in the eyes back and forth.
Oh
and
my God.
Stipe poked Daniel Cormier so hard that I tweeted that there's no way that he remembers his home address anymore because he poked that far into his brain that he just like eliminated that part of his memory.
I saw an image of it, and unless his finger bent, it literally looked like half of his finger was in his eyeball.
They both did it though. Like both of them were hands out, like or fingers out, like punching. It was very dumb. I don't understand it, but unfortunately, the ref had to come out today on Twitter and be like, you know what? I can't call what I don't see. Like it's not on him. If you're a viewer, you have the benefit of a million instant replays and slow-mo and shit. And this poor guy is just like calling a fight the best he can see it.
How you gonna miss that? Didn't one of the eyes like get like a dislocated cornea or some shit?
I don't know about that, but I mean, obviously with the aftermath, you can look at it and be like, oh yeah, he definitely got hit in the eye, but you don't know that he got poked in the eye. Like he could have just
said he couldn't see. He said he was completely blind in that eye after in the post interview.
It was like disconnected.
Which is super rough because then you don't have any depth perception and you're just kind of swinging blindly. But also, he should have been trying to wrestle him the entire time, anyways. So the entire fight sucked. Last night was not a great card, to be perfectly honest. But
what was the best matchup?
I think I only saw the last 4 fights. The co-main event. Let me see if I can look up these names because I'm not remembering them. But the one guy is like a complete troll, and he's got like awful big hair and shit. Marlon Vera and Sean O'Malley. So Sean O'Malley, like a complete internet troll, and he showed up and he dyed his big poofy hair that he braids before a fight. He dyed it the colors of the Ecuadorian flag because his opponent was from Ecuador.
He's from Ireland, right?
I'm pretty sure he's American.
Really? Everyone was saying he was like the new Conor McGregor or some shit. He was like undefeated for a while though. Some
shit, but I think he's from America. Anyways, he came out and he just came off like ankle surgery, I want to say, or like surgery for a broken foot, and he immediately in the first round like threw a kick and came down on his foot weird, and he was useless for the rest of the fight.
Yeah.
So you can't help shit like that, but also it did not make for good watching. Like I don't care. I streamed it anyways. I wasn't gonna fucking pay for it.
Yeah.
It's impossible to buy and fucking keep up with everything. Like they just make it so impossible. Like you've got to go through 6 different apps and bullshit, and just fuck that. But
fuck all of that. Is that I just sent the picture in the Discord? Is that what it looks like? It looks like Sideshow Bob, but like more badass, but look like a clown. Look like an actual clown.
Wrong. He's a killer.
Yeah,
but yeah, he's a dickhead. Like he's completely. Oh yeah, that's Sean O'Malley. So I'll.
Is he worse than Cody Garbrandt?
Worth how?
I mean, does he like troll him in the ring? Does he like taunt him and shit in the ring? Oh my god,
he didn't this time. I think because he knew he was hurt.
Yeah,
but he definitely is the kind of guy who would do that. But that's him. He braided his hair into cornrows before he got into this fight, and I don't know. He got his ass whooped. So it is what it is. But not great fights, to be honest. Mark, tell me about your weekend.
Yeah, was in Lake Geneva, which is like surprisingly close to where we are in the suburbs. I always forget that.
For all the listeners out there, Mark looks really hungover.
I've been hungover for the last 2 days, but you just got to power through it. It's a bachelor party.
Dad hangover.
But yeah, it was a unorthodox bachelor party, obviously, with everything going on. So we rented a boat and we made the most of what we could. We made the most of it. So we just did a boat day on Saturday. And surprisingly, Wisconsin is now realizing like, okay, the influx of cases over the last couple of weeks, we're actually going to have to mandate masks in all these restaurants. And I think Lake Geneva is it's very touristy. So
Lake Geneva is basically Illinois.
Yeah, they separate themselves from like the typical Wisconsin towns, which was good because you'd go into restaurants and people were actually wearing masks. So that was
also if your entire town's economic basis is built on tourism, better be careful.
Yes. Yeah. But it was a good time.
So you didn't have people like this guy.
No.
Fucking pussies. You're a bunch of pussies.
Oh, hang on. I got to restart it. All right.
Are we breaking this down right now?
We are.
Breakdown? All right.
So this is a man who's very clearly like in a grocery store who is an idiot. I think that's fair to say. He's here with what looks like his sons.
They
and
both have mustaches.
A friend or two. Let's just see how this breaks out.
You're a bunch of idiots wearing masks. You know it's not real. Look at you, fool.
It's not real. You know it's not real. The 160,000 dead Americans mean nothing.
Fake.
You got a fucking doily on your face, you
got a doily on your face.
You look like you fucking got it off your mom's countertop. You feel better now? You look like an idiot. You're a child. Trying to make you wear a mask. Shut up.
Okay. So he's dropping the hard R a few times here, calling people the mentally challenged word that you shouldn't say anymore. I feel like his sons want to say like, Dad, you're embarrassing me, but they won't do it. And there are other people yelling off screen. And this guy in the fucking roll call shirt, Clark 145 or whatever, is telling other people to shut up. I would not shut up. Can you shut up in this situation, Mark?
No.
Would you be the guy who just pulls his phone out and starts recording, or would you actually say something to these people?
No, I would probably go uppercut that guy in the face.
I don't know. You seem pretty non-confrontational to me.
I am.
Brick is definitely the camera phone guy.
Yeah, I'm more like, ugh, eesh, but I'm going to stay there and watch what happens. I'm not going to jump in by any means, but I might poke the bear just a little bit, but only from afar.
We were talking about this. You're the shit stirrer. You absolutely would. You'd be like, yeah, tell him, don't wear a mask, idiot.
Yeah, exactly. I can't breathe in this mask.
Let's keep going and see what happens.
Exactly.
Look at you giant fucking dork. What are you going to do? Come outside. Come outside and tell me how tough you are. Fucking, I'll beat that fucking mask off your face like a fucking retard.
There he goes, dropping that word.
Oh my god.
Uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable. And him threatening people just doesn't feel right. Doesn't feel like he's the type of guy who could come in and threaten somebody. He's definitely somebody who's never been in a fight before. Like
it's hard to threaten somebody next to a bunch of watermelons. It just doesn't sit right with me. I don't know why.
All right. The entire reason that I pulled up this video is because there's something very funny that's coming. And you got to listen carefully. But it's coming very soon. So wait for when his son picks him up and listen carefully.
Like a fucking retard. Fucking pussy.
Did you hear?
That was a toot. You're gonna come at somebody and then fucking leave the argument and then toot. You're gonna toot.
That was absolutely a toot.
Spitting out so much hot air that when you squeezed him, he tooted.
Thank God it was watermelons though, and it wasn't like a baked good that would absorb the toot. Like the toot would have just bounced off the watermelon shell. Thank God that was the only food around his tooting.
It wasn't like a cornbread
in the produce section when you're around like bananas and oranges and watermelons, when something is protected from the toot particles.
That would get eaten up by cornbread real quick. Cornbread and like some beans, just
it's like jalapeno cornbread. Oh my god!
Donuts out. They're done.
You know what? I don't know. Even those rotisserie chickens, they have little air holes in there. They might get a little absorption. I'm high.
All right, let's watch the end of the video. I think this is pretty much the end of the climax.
Goodbye.
He got carried out like a giant man baby. His arms, his arms were like not even moving. He was just like getting dangled out.
I can't get enough of these videos of idiots like this just getting fucking called out or like thrown out of places. I know that it's not a good look on me, but I really want to run into one of these people.
Oh, of course.
I would be the guy like, yes, please, let's go outside. Let's please go outside.
I would love to see that too. You just put him into an immediate sleeper hold like you did Hackett that one time and just like, oh, okay. Good night. Take a nap and rest this one off, buddy.
Like you're not you're ignoring a global pandemic. You're just a dipshit.
Yeah.
The guy telling everyone they look like idiots when he's the one wearing fucking long Adidas gym shorts that he got from Ross in fucking Payless shoes and high fucking.
Let's not knock Ross Dress for Less, okay? There's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with Dress for Less.
Nothing wrong with a Marshalls or a Ross. It's fine.
Marshalls is not Ross. Let's put that out there. That is no. You can't bucket those. It's like Marshalls, TJ Maxx, and then fucking Ross is in its own world.
Okay. That's fine. You want to look down on people? That's okay.
Dark.
Rick's like, I have so many tank tops from Ross. God damn it.
I only go to Ross. Dress at Ross. Why dress for more when you can dress for less? We're officially not a paid sponsor at all.
No, we're not. No free ads. I have one other video on the show, and it will tie back into our movie review later on, just because it's like the weirdest, most obscure mention of all time. But
double video day.
It is double video day. Let's throw this up there. We're talking about the pistol shrimp, which is the gangster of the sea, apparently. This fucking shrimp is packing heat.
Don't. I'll kill you with bubbles. Are you kidding me?
Don't.
I used to go when I was a prostitute.
I had to Google this because they talk about it in Project Power, and apparently, like because it moves so quickly and it's underwater, it gets to like the heat of the surface of the sun. Just like, damn, nature, you scary.
Damn, I'm scared of that. It's a crawfish, right?
It's a shrimp. I mean, I guess technically crawfish are shrimp, or they're in the same family, crustaceans, but that shit is metal as fuck. Like, why did nature decide, yeah, this shrimp needs a gun?
An air bubble gun that just stuns its enemies. Oh my god.
That was my favorite thing to come out of this movie that we watched this week, though, is like I enjoyed it. and we'll get into this shit later. But the fact that I had no idea this animal existed and now I do, I'm all for it.
Dude, pistol shrimp is my new. That should be the new Washington R words.
Oh, dude, that's a great like minor league baseball team name.
The pistol shrimps.
Like the Pittsburgh Pistol Shrimp.
Ooh, they're nasty. I like it. The pistol shrimp.
Okay.
But pistol would probably get problematic in this PC culture that we have today.
I mean, if it's the name of an animal, though, is it? They did rename the Washington Bullets, which, God damn it, we can't have anything nice anymore.
No, pistol shrimps. Just call them the shrimps. Like, no, that sucks then.
I just broke the news to Mark like 2 weeks ago that they're not the Tampa Bay Devil Rays anymore. They're just the Rays. So
the Rays, yeah. Didn't appreciate the devilness.
You know, the other thing I got to thinking about when I was watching this movie, just like shitty superpowers. Like we've talked about this before, but I don't know if this is just a me thing. But there's this spot in our bedroom where my wife does her hair,
Nice.
and she like sprays shit, like, you know, aerosol stuff, and it gets on the floor and it makes the floor super slippery. And every time I step on it, like my feet somehow know that the floor is slippery and my legs start to tingle. And I'm wondering if this is something that everybody sees or if it's just the shittiest superpower of all time.
I think it just comes with dad. Like you just had a kid, right? It just comes with like,
It's like,
it's like your spidey senses, but it's only when you have a child. I would have slipped and fallen because I'm a high idiot that doesn't have a child.
And
so
you
like
also
hairspray, anti-slip powers.
I just think it's like slippery stuff. Like I can tell when something is slippery and my leg starts to it's very weird. I really thought that I would like, this is one of those things that I say it out loud and everybody's like, oh yeah, totally, I know what you're talking about. Apparently I'm just a fucking weirdo.
Slipperiest surface on the face of the planet is an oil spill in Chicago while in negative like 40 degrees temperature. It's like the slickest. It's black ice on my Terry green beans back in the day, 2015, had an oil leak from his car in our driveway. Easily the slipperiest surface on the face of the earth. There's no way you could even somewhat stand on there at all. You'd be on all fours immediately.
So Smithers, do you just feel overwhelmed if you see a bunch of like little kids going down a slip and slide?
Man, that's a good question. I don't
just start shaking like uncontrollably. Like, oh my god, my senses are tingling.
Yeah, something slippery nearby.
Yeah.
Is that the shittiest superpower of all time?
It's up there.
Yeah, like it's not even something like before. Like if I could tell something was slippery before I put my foot down, then I'd be like, "Fuck yes, this is awesome! Like this is actually useful." No, it's just once something I know is slippery, I'm just like, "Oh shit, my leg is on fire."
You should be working for like America's Funniest Home Videos. You would know when people are going to slip. You know all the hot spots, so you can be like, spider sense, get the hilarious spills.
Every World Star video of all time is just like people falling on their asses.
The spills, people falling and losing like their grip with reality of the earth is amazing. I love it.
One of my favorite viral videos is when that kid is just videotaping outside of his school and all the kids are getting out and they just keep on slipping on the same patch of ice. You remember that video?
Oh, yeah.
It's great.
So good.
Watching little kids get hurt.
Oh,
it's hilarious. I literally follow an Instagram account called Kids Getting Injured. Kids just like being dumb.
All right. So when you're here in 2 weeks, you do not get to see my son.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. You know all the slippery surfaces.
News to us. Oh, is that a Truly brick? You're mixing weed and alcohol?
You know it, dude. It balances. Don't you know that?
So proud of you. All
it's
right.
Scientific facts.
Let's get into the trailers of this week. Brick, last week you and I talked about The Devil All the Time, and it struck your fancy because it's a period piece.
Ooh.
It was teased as something where people have PTSD from World War II, and it kind of passes down from father to son, etc. This movie looks a lot darker than I thought it was going to.
Yeah.
First thing that I saw, I literally only watched half the trailer because I was immediately hooked. I was like, "Yep, this is me. I'm in. I don't even want to know anymore." That's how good I thought the trailer was the first time around. Tom Holland looks great. And I love how they're doing the flashbacks back and forth between, Bill Skarsgård, who's his father, to Tom Holland, who's the son, and just like the dichotomy there is what I'm looking forward to. Let's go.
We were speculating, was this going to be like everybody's the same age and they're all fresh out of the war, but Skarsgård as Holland's father, like obviously that's a flashback, but still, I'm really excited for this. I didn't realize also this is a Netflix movie. I'm so here for all Netflix movies. It's so easy to watch it on my fucking TV on my couch in the basement. I love it.
Give me all the Netflix
for this is ridiculous.
Yes, it is.
Sebastian Stan's in it. Yeah, I didn't realize he was in this. Harry Melling, who's in Harry Potter. He was just in The Old Guard.
Harry Potter.
Remember, I told you that was Neville. Was it Neville?
Oh,
or whatever.
It's
he lost a shit ton of weight.
Crab.
Yes. So he's in this. Jason Clarke is in this. And we got Skarsgård, Robert Pattinson. Yeah. So
Riley Keough's in there as well. She's an up-and-coming actress. I'm very excited for this. And I didn't see the release date for this, but I'm assuming that since Netflix does their trailers so close to release that we're not too far off of this.
Yeah, hopefully.
Did you guys watch the trailer for what I deemed the worst-looking movie of 2020?
Yes.
I started watching it and then I trailed off because I'm an ADD idiot. But I guess it didn't just did not look that good from
your ADD was actually not wrong, because I don't even think they knew what the fuck they were trying to accomplish with this movie. There was like 8 different things going on. There was like a war, but then aliens came, and then fucking it looked like they were trying to go through like police training. I have fucking no idea what the hell was going on in this.
All you need to know to make a movie like a B movie in the current day is to know that Tara Reid is in the cast list, because she has a good movie in 20 years. And
dude, what are you talking about? Sharknado?
Exactly. Everything she signs up for is immediately like a B-list movie. This movie is called Attack of the Unknown, starring Richard Grieco, Tara Reid, and Robert Lusardo. At one point in the trailer, they look at each other and they deadpan face look at each other and say, "They're space vampires." And I can't tell you, I can't explain to you, I can't convey how hard I laughed in that moment.
God.
You say space vampires in any other settings, it's sick. This is terrible.
I mean, did you see the costume for the actual alien in this? It looks like 1985
zipper on the back.
Like, I mean, E.T. was before that, and E.T. was a better fucking costume than this. This looks like some fucking Halloween stuff from like 1994.
The last alien you see in the trailer is definitely got that idea from Mars Attacks. Yeah.
One of my favorite movies of all time, by the way. It's great. Which also, Mark, I was plugging this to you before we got started today. Another one of my favorite movies of all time is MacGruber. And we got a quote-unquote trailer, which is basically just a teaser for a series coming to Peacock, which is NBC streaming service in 2021 for MacGruber. I am 1,000,000% here for this.
Absolutely.
Correct.
MacGruber's hilarious in the stupidest, dumbest, best way of all time. The Will Forte adaptation, he's playing the lead, right?
Yes.
Amazing.
As far as I know, it's all of the main characters.
Kristen Wiig?
Yeah. I think Kristen Wiig is in it. Is that Ryan Phillippe? Who's the?
Yeah, I think that is.
I got to pull up this cast list, but as far as I know, Kristen Wiig is going to be involved.
Okay. They had so many.
One of the funniest movies of all time, just because it's so over the top stupid. That is Ryan Phillippe. It also has Val Kilmer, Maya Rudolph. I think The Undertaker is in this movie. Chris Jericho's in it. Mark Henry's in it. So it's got some wrestlers and shit in it. But I think The Undertaker's in here too.
If you had to get rid of Team America World Police or MacGruber, what would you choose?
Team America. MacGruber is funnier.
I think I would keep Team America. That shit is fucking brilliant.
Don't take that as a slight on Team America. I love Team America, but MacGruber is way up there as one of the best comedies of all time.
I might have to go back and rewatch MacGruber. There was some literally amazing content out there. when he's doing the license plate, I do that from time to time. Whenever I see someone like piss
He
me
just
off,
starts
cut me off.
repeating it. Oh my God.
B69318, B69318. It's just like it comes back like a million times, dude. You're just like, all right, it's so good.
The celery walk is an all-time moment. Like I can't get enough of MacGruber, and
Too good.
just smoke another bowl and sit down and watch MacGruber. I am absolutely here for it. So.
Recommendation?
Sure. Why not?
Would you put on our hundreds list movies that you have to see?
Man, I was talking about this earlier with my wife. Just like dumb comedies that are up there in the vein of, Airplane, like super slapstick stuff. And I asked her if she'd ever seen Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Juice in the Hood. That's definitely top 20 movie for me. Like I like to reference it all the time, and most people don't understand it, probably because I'm old as fuck. But if you haven't seen that movie, it's absolutely worth a watch. It's the Wayans brothers. It's just kind of like
I have seen this.
It's just like a parody of Boys in the Hood kind of stuff, or like Friday or whatever. It's masterpiece. Mwah. Beautiful.
Okay.
I only remember this because it has one of the most iconic movie posters of all time, where they're just standing there with their super soakers, and then the guy in the back actually has a gun.
Loke Dog. Yeah. At one point, he
slippers,
fires a nuclear weapon and starts aiming it at people because it's fucking brilliant. Anyways, let's move on to the actual news. So we got some casting news for The Boys season 2, which is coming rapidly. I think we're only about 3 weeks out now.
Would you consider The Boys a B list content?
No.
Tara Reid's in this.
Oh, is she really?
Yes.
Where?
I don't know. I just looked up Tara Reid and I looked up her filmography, and she's just in The Boys.
Holy shit. I mean, is she like a background actor? Because if that's the case, then
You said everything she's in. I'm proving you wrong twice, Smithers, today.
Okay.
Wow.
I mean, fuck me, right? I'll just go fuck myself. I'm going to look that up. But while I do that, I'm going to keep talking. So if you remember the original trilogy of the X-Men movies, Shawn Ashmore, who played Iceman, is going to play Lamplighter, who they referenced several times in season 1, but he is completely absent. They never show him. They only reference him, and now he's going to show up in season 2 and be Lamplighter. So what are we thinking about this?
Which one was Lamplighter again? Is that the one from the past?
He's pyrokinetic, so like he does fire stuff. He's the opposite of Iceman.
Okay.
But Brick, I know that you're excited for season 2 of The Boys. Does this amplify it? Are you just like the same level, or what?
I haven't seen The Boys in a while. He was the one that retired, right?
Yes. So they reference him several times, like he used to be a member of the Seven, but they don't say anything else about it really.
Okay, so he can do like fire with his mind, basically.
Yeah, pyrokinetic.
He holds a lamplighter.
He lights lamps would probably be the better way to say it.
Let's see what kind of role he plays.
Now, Tara Reid plays Tara Reid in one episode. I'm really struggling to remember any of this, but
that's literally the only image we have on the internet of Lamplighter. They haven't really released anything other than that.
There you go.
But
So you know it's going to be Shawn Ashmore, though.
They said he was actually a parody of Green Lantern.
That doesn't make any sense, but okay. Mark, care to elaborate?
I have no idea. He's kind of got that Arrow vibe going on with that hood.
The big hood.
Yeah, from CW's Arrow.
I didn't throw this in the notes, but Mark, DC fired a lot of their comic book editors this week.
Oh my God, it was a bloodbath. Yeah.
Can you just like expound on that a little bit? You don't have to get too deep into it, but what does this mean for the future of DC Comics?
Well, I think they're just completely revamping all, like they're getting rid of DC Direct, which was all like their collectibles and action figures and everything like that. I don't know if that means they're going to end up calling it something different, or because I would be surprised if they never did, those little action figures that they would have that are like $25 or whatever. Those were really popular for a lot of people. A lot of people would collect those. But supposedly they're getting rid of that subsidiary of DC, and Yeah, they just fired a shit ton of people. I think the most notable like artists and writers, they obviously kept them for their comics, but there was just a lot of people in the background that they got rid of. So,
Well, the thing that a lot of people don't know about the comics industry is like you get paid basically as a contractor most of the time, unless you're like a huge name. So they treat you as expendable, like you're basically an Uber driver for DC, and they pay you by the page. So I don't know what this means. I don't know if they're just going to replace all these people. They had some bad eggs. There was a lot of talk of like sexual harassment in the background, and like the head editor of DC Comics was defending a guy who had some allegations levied against him. I don't know what the fuck's going on, man, but I think does this bode well for the future of their comic book publications?
it doesn't bode well for DC Universe by any means. They just announced that the Titan season 3 or whatever is going right to HBO Max. It's not even going to be on DC Universe, so that will probably
for anything that they do in the near future.
Yeah,
everything's just straight to HBO.
Yeah, the majority of the staff of the streaming service has been laid off, according to this article. So
not good.
Not good.
I don't remember how we got there, but let's move on. Mark, are you the bigger SpongeBob fan, or is it Brick?
Mark, probably.
I like SpongeBob. Yeah.
Okay. So Nickelodeon has ordered 13 episodes of a spinoff of SpongeBob, quote, in the vein of the Larry Sanders Show and Comedy Bang Bang. So basically,
talk show.
Patrick is going to be a late night talk show host, which I think is a hilarious concept. I'm not the biggest SpongeBob fan, but I know that he's an idiot. This just harkens back for me to like Space Ghost or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Is SpongeBob notorious for having like special guests, do some guest voice on there or no?
Not to my knowledge. That's actually a good call. Like, do you think they're going to try and animate in actual celebrities, or is it just going to be like, hey, I'm interviewing Mr. Krabs?
I think
you take it.
No, I think that would be a great idea. You take The Rock or something and make him into a fish version of himself, and you have Patrick interview him. I think that would be a cool way to go about it.
Bodybuilders, like the bodybuilder crab.
Yeah.
Everything I know about SpongeBob, I know from their dumb memes, and that's it.
Yeah, that was my time of growing up.
I saw a bunch of episodes of SpongeBob. I've seen a bunch of episodes of SpongeBob, but I don't know. It never really floated my 100%. It is funny though. The best episode of SpongeBob is the one where they do the Super Bowl halftime show though.
Everybody says that. By the way, I was in Target the other day. They have one of the T-shirts there that is like SpongeBob as the band conductor, and he's got like the baton, and he's like mid-scream, clearly conducting the band. Yeah, absolutely. So if you're into that, check out Target, and you can go get the T-shirt. I want to take a minute though. I feel like I'm definitely more energetic than both of you right now, Mark, because you're hungover, and Brick, because you're high as dick. But
oh, dude,
I got a chance to go and get some beers from my favorite brewery in downtown Chicago on Friday. It's called Off Color Brewing. They have these very cool labels, like just these dumb little animals and shit.
Well, that's the margarita beer, right? Or whatever.
This is not. It's a wit beer with lemon and black tea. They have like a series of beers. It's called like beer for stuff. They have beer for tacos, which is like a like a lime rice. They have beer for burgers, which is a stout. This is beer for golf, which is just got lemon and black tea, like I said. But absolutely love this brewery. They're super cool. I went down there and just like stocked up.
It's like an Arnie Palmy beer.
Who wants Arnie Palmy? They brewed a ton of like summer type beers where it's like raspberry and cherry and stuff like that too. But also they have, just wit styles and pilsners and shit like that too. I can't recommend it enough. If you're in Chicago, they're on basically like right off North Avenue on Kingsbury. Stop by their brewery, pick stuff up. Not only that, but like as soon as I pulled up, I could just pull up my phone and say, this is what I want, and basically place an order, and they brought it out to me. You don't have to go in. They do have a restaurant, like an outdoor patio and shit, but can't recommend this place enough. Off Color Brewing in Chicago.
Let me see the design of that can real quick. My one issue by just looking at that right now is I instantly think that is like a wintertime beer, like a stout.
Just because of the colors?
Just because of the colors, the white, I feel like, and it actually not having color, it's just black and white. I feel like if they put color into that, you would be like, okay, this is probably a summertime drinking beer, you know?
That's their thing, is always like all off color stuff is all grayscale.
Yeah, I get it.
Always have been. I can't recommend their beers enough. Like if you run into a liquor store and you see a 4-pack of pints, I think my favorite is probably Beer for Tacos. It's just really refreshing. It's good on a hot day. But
that's the one with the margarita salt, right?
That's the one I gave you when I came over to your place. I was like, "Oh yeah, try this. It's excellent." So, sorry for the digression, but let's move on. Have either of you watched Avatar: The Last Airbender? Because it's currently on Netflix. So that's a no, Brick.
Zero.
Like it?
No, I didn't see it.
I like it. I just finished it not that long ago. I thought it was excellent. A lot of people that grew up with it say that it's like one of the best cartoons of all time. I don't know that it fits into like the genre of anime or anime, but it's really good. You should check it out. And they just dropped the second part of that. Like it was just kind of an offshoot spinoff. Legend of Korra came out on Friday on Netflix. So check that out. But the big news out of this is that Netflix had been producing a live action Avatar: The Last Airbender series. And everybody was really excited because the guys who created the original cartoon were on board to produce it. That is no longer the case. So co-creators Michael Dante DiMartino and Brian Konietzko have announced today they will no longer be a part of the live action adaptation due to a lack of support from Netflix. The series could still happen, but both creators said it would not represent the show they wanted to see brought to life. That is not a good sign. That feels bad. Like when the people who create a property say like, Netflix wasn't really supporting how we wanted to do this creatively, it feels like a really fucking bad sign.
Well, I can tell you why. This probably helps too. Well, the last one was written by M. Night Shyamalan.
That was a live action.
Exactly. It got a 5% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It's widely regarded as one of the worst fucking movies of all time. It's M. Night Shyamalan, and I like to compare it to the Dragon Ball Evolution movie. Because
I was going to say, was DBZ behind that movie?
Yeah, it's kind of the same idea. And I just pulled the headphone jack out of my headphone. So that's really fun. But yeah, when it comes to like widely regarded as shitty movies and shitty adaptations, the first things that come to mind are Avatar by M. Night Shyamalan and Dragon Ball Evolution. I will never forget the day that I watched Dragon Ball Evolution. Like I was super excited because I found a pirated copy like right before it released. And I brought all my buddies into a room. We're like, fuck yeah, let's fucking do this. This is going to be amazing. And then we just like, all of us sat there for an hour and a half with our jaws on the floor. Like, this is the biggest piece of shit I've ever fucking seen.
It was so bad.
What are you going to do?
Sometimes those are the best movies though, when you all start being like realizing how bad it is.
So I'm just going to fucking pull that out. All right.
That's what she said.
Weren't you not that you weren't into Last Airbender that much when you started watching it? I feel like though
I wasn't. So the first time I talked about it in recommendations was in season 1, and
was 2010 when you saw it the first time.
2, they introduce at least 2 new characters that make the show so much more worth watching. Way more than that, actually. I think that the show really picks up in the second season.
Okay.
So, I'm very excited to sit down and watch Legend of Korra, but whatever. Let's move on. Blumhouse is kind of a staple of this podcast. We talk about them all the time because they release these low budget, but also sometimes awesome, very hit or miss horror movies. And they have just signed a deal with Amazon. It's going to let them make 8 movies and release them straight to Amazon Prime. So here's the description of the first 4 movies. Venus Sud is the producer of The Lie, in which parents of a homicidal teenager cover up their daughter's murders. Here for it. O.C. Kufor Jr.'s Black Box, following a widower undergoing experimental memory treatment, which sounds creepy already. Elon and Rajiv Dasani's Evil Eye, about a mother convinced she has a history with her daughter's new boyfriend. Spicy.
sounds like a Lifetime movie.
Zooquirk's Nocturne, concerning a music student who begins to outshine her more accomplished twin sister after discovering the notebook of a recently deceased classmate. So that's got some fucking really dark vibes on all of these movies. I think the bigger headline here is that Amazon signed this deal with Blumhouse, because I feel like, I mean, Hulu did this, right? They were doing the Into the Dark series that was every month we're going to release something based on a holiday. You know, like February was Valentine's Day. March was, I don't remember what March was. What holidays in March?
St. Patrick's Day.
Yeah, that's probably right. You get what I'm saying, though.
Leprechaun, maybe, I don't know.
So Blumhouse is just going to fucking pound along and keep making these low budget movies, and eventually, like 1 out of 10 will just hit a home run. I'm good with that.
Do you think Amazon basically just saved Blumhouse as a film production? Like, do you think they were in deep trouble with all this COVID stuff?
I don't think that's true, and here's why. Blumhouse they would be totally fine with just releasing shit on VOD, on iTunes or whatever else. I think this is just like an exclusivity deal where they sign with Amazon, and Amazon fronts them some money so that people can't go get it somewhere else.
Yeah. With Hulu movies and Netflix movies, Amazon has to start stepping it up if they want people to sign up for Prime. And one of the main reasons they do so is because they want to get their movies and their shows and everything that they have on their Amazon Prime streaming service. Wow. So no, yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. I have to pee very badly, so I'm going to go do that. Mark, I'm going to lead you to discuss this. The headline of this story is basically that studios are starting to produce movies again. And what they're talking about specifically in this is Jurassic World, and saying that they're moving production overseas and they're keeping older actors off their roster completely.
Okay.
You take that and run with it. What impact do you think that's going to have on Hollywood and how things happen going forward?
Yeah. Well, obviously they're doing it because I think you're more vulnerable to get deathly sick from coronavirus if you're over the age of 65 or whatever. All the data is telling us. But also, I mean, it's kind of weird. I don't know, Brick. What do you think?
Well, for Jurassic World specifically, I wonder where they would be shooting. Because if there are some jungle scenes and they have, and like they had a whole, where did they film last time? I'm sure a lot of it's CGI, but a lot of it's probably still land where they need like spot locations of where they actually film.
Yeah, it's
But if they do catch it, then it'd be like a pain.
Yeah, and you would just think like they're going to do testing and everything when these actors get on set. You know, it's not like they're not going to be cautious of corona and everything. So
yeah, fuck it. I could have this. I'm so stony baloney right now. I'm sorry.
I feel like you were just staring at Smithers' owl. You're just like,
it just looks like Smithers. If this looks like Sam the Hawk right now, like honestly, that's how I am. I need Sam the Hawk. I can't have this fucking googly eye fucking owl staring at me. He got to me. I can't believe Smithers. How many times did he leave today too? He just got this fucking goddamn owl giving me eyes.
I know. He's doing it on purpose.
I'm uncomfortable. He got to me. It actually worked.
Let's talk about how shitty the last Jurassic Park movie was.
That was a Chris Pratt, dude. It was fantastic.
No, it wasn't.
What's your favorite all-time Jurassic Park scene?
It had that one kid in its room that just wouldn't shut up when the raptor was in there. I'm just like, you're gonna kill everyone. But that's how all the movies are.
It has to be. You need to have.
We're talking about how shitty the last Jurassic Park movie was.
I said it was great.
I just hopped back into this, and Christine is in the chat, and she says, "Stone plus that bird." You missed the opening portion of this where I literally said that I put that up there because I knew Brick was stoned.
And
I was mid-conversation with Brick, and his ADD just kicked in, and he just starts laughing to himself. And super high guy move.
Left us talking about COVID. You're like, talk about COVID. We're just like,
yeah, the most boring topic right now. Just like, oh, let's keep talking about COVID in movies and what it does to these production companies.
But then that bird was just staring at me, and we had a moment, and you missed it. You can go back and listen to it a little. Traitor.
Comics Misexplained in the chat says, I'd watch a Jurassic Park where the dinosaurs exclusively eat old people.
Perfect. They can all die. Yikes.
I'm glad that somebody else said that, so I didn't have to. All right, last of the news, then I promise we'll move on. We've largely avoided the news that Chris D'Elia is probably a diddler, allegedly.
Is he just not going to say anything? He's just not going to make a statement or anything about what happened. He's been silent the whole time.
I'm not going to speak for the guy, but knowing everything that's happened in the last, 10 years, what could he possibly come out and say that would make him not look worse?
Exactly. Let it die down.
I feel like he's taking the route of just trying to gather all the information, and obviously push it to his side. Like they're trying to make a case right now, and they're probably just taking their time because they're going to get one chance.
Smart, right? Like you gotta build your case and defend yourself. That's why
get one chance.
Allegedly a diddler instead of just a diddler.
Yeah.
But the allegations out there are not looking good for him. Let's just say that there are some receipts on some fucking Twitter and Instagram messages that do not look good for him. Yeah. Anyways, I bring this up to say that Tig Notaro, the comedian, will be replacing him in this Zack Snyder zombie movie. So it's called Army of the Dead, and it's already completed shooting, but they're going to completely reshoot any of his scenes with Tig Notaro. So we talked about this in the past because it was kind of a fucked up premise where it was a little rapey, to be honest. So that having that tied to the name of your movie and also Chris D'Elia is probably not a good look. So I think this is a good PR move, but also Tig Notaro is very funny and she can probably act.
That's literally the gift of D'Elia.
No. Okay. Cool.
Have I seen Notaro stand up? No.
She's a survivor of cancer, so she did a few stand-up specials about that and just the fallout. She's also, I believe, she's a lesbian, and she does a lot of stand-up about that. So it's like a more diverse cast member. She's a female LGBT person, so probably good on the whole that Chris D'Elia is out and Tig Notaro is in.
You have Dave Bautista in this movie too.
I think he's the lead.
Really?
I'm fairly certain. So it was a zombie flick with a more fucked up opening scenario. And I don't know how they're going to tone that down because it was kind of like zombie rape and shit like that. Like nobody needs that.
Yeah.
Nobody needs a zombie rape, obviously.
You can read that like back in the 90s and shit. Like we're okay. Don't need to do it. But I just thought it was an interesting story. So, Chris D'Elia, fuck off.
Okay.
That's
and that's all I say about it.
The worst. She's the worst person in the world. Huge skank, terrible, but thank you.
I had to simultaneously drink my beer and find the drop for Best Man Alive.
Wow. Talented. You know what? Just because of that, I'm going to nominate you for Best Man Alive.
Because you don't have one.
No, I was so prepared.
Having a Best Man Alive.
I was so prepared that I'm going to let that guy take the bench because you just earned it, my friend.
I can just give you a Best Man Alive if you want.
I already got one. Smithers, you nailed it, dude.
All right, so I will fill in for you. My Best Man Alive for Brick is Tony Hawk. Because it came out this week. So everybody knows that they're remaking Tony Hawk 1 and 2. That's been a big thing. So there used to be this skateboarding trick that they called a mute air, right? So we're basically like you get some air and you grab the front of your board, and it was invented by a guy named Chris Weddle who was deaf. He's not mute though, so like every time somebody called it that, like it was kind of a little bit derogatory.
Okay.
Not necessarily. I mean, like you can understand how it would be a little bit offensive if you were a deaf person and they called you a mute. So they called it this, but now for the remake, Tony Hawk actually talked to Chris Weddle and was like, "Hey, man, what's the story behind this? Like, can we change it a little bit?" And what they're going to do is they're going to rename it to the Weddle Air, and I think that's kind of cool. Like, something that's been out there for a long time, like you can just go back. When you're somebody as big as Tony Hawk, you just be like, yeah, we're gonna call it this from now on.
Mark's like, they're gonna name it the Deaf Air.
Dude, I don't know.
That's what he's amazing. Yeah, well,
So it sounds like this guy didn't even get to name his own trick.
Yeah.
This guy did not get to name his own trick. Is the story here, right?
I think you would have went with
Not
Deaf Air.
originally, no, but now he can.
Well, actually, technically, Tony Hawk gave him the opportunity to name it, or Tony Hawk was like, "Yo, we should call it the Weddle thing." Big difference.
Yeah. So the story is, I'm flipping through this right now. So the quote is, Weddle has been very gracious in her response, but it's obvious that a different name would have honored his legacy, and he is hearing impaired but not lacking speech. I asked him last year as I was diving into trick origins, and he said he would rather have named it the Deaf or Weddle Grab.
Let's go. Deaf
All
Grab's
right.
actually pretty sick, though. It does.
There you
sound
go, Mark.
It actually is
Rick
Death
Perry
Air.
was
We're like,
Mark, what do you got for me?
oh, that's the best when you guys just instantly think I'm just an asshole, which I am. But
You
the story turns out to be true.
Deaf Air would be sick. It was, you like sounded stoked when you said it.
Oh my god! All right. I got a quick little funny story of an exact circumstance just like that. We're looking at a family having a picnic, and like one of their older family members was sitting away from like all the kids and the parents and everything. And I'm like, oh, this guy's probably just sick of his family joking around. And I'm like, he hasn't gotten up for a minute. He's pretty comfortable. And then one of my friends is like, I think he's in a wheelchair. But we literally stood there and waited 10 minutes to see if this guy was going to stand up. And he did, thankfully. So I was like, all right.
You know, in defense of you, I thought the end of that story was going to be he was actually dead. So
Yo, my man's straight chilling over there.
Yeah.
Better.
He was not getting up. I'm like, oh, dude, he is just like, I'm not going to fuck with my family right now. I'm sitting over here. I'm chilling. And then my friend's like, I'm pretty sure he's just in a wheelchair. Like he needs to be assisted. And I just felt like an ass. And I made us sit there for 10 minutes until we could literally find out if he was in a wheelchair or not, which he wasn't. So I'm not a complete asshole.
Thanks for double clarifying.
All right.
Oh, God. The theme with the fucking weekend at Bernie shit.
So chilling.
I mean, that's horrible. Okay. Let's lighten the mood a little bit, shall we? Brick, you like football. Have you heard the story of the undrafted Seahawks rookie?
Smart.
His name is Kemah Siverand, and he was a rookie coming out of Oklahoma State, was going to play for Seattle this season, but he was released this Tuesday, and nobody was really paying attention as to why, and they found out later on Thursday in a press release that said he was caught on video trying to sneak a female visitor into the team hotel. Okay, so already this is kind of a scumbag move. Like you're exposing all of your teammates. What
if he almost canceled football? That would have fucking happened. The exact same thing. 14 players get it. All of a sudden, Seattle can't play their schedule. We're ruined.
Then you play the NFC West, and then it gets spread. And the Niners were in the Super Bowl last year. Yeah, it's a huge clusterfuck. So this guy's already a piece of shit. The icing on the cake, though, is that he tried to dress this woman up as a Seahawks player. So like threw her in team gear and stuff. So I'm trying to imagine this. And look, I'm not going to shame somebody for what they like, but imagine trying to sneak in a woman who could pass for a Seattle Seahawks football player. Now imagine what that woman would probably have to look like.
All right. Well, you have the offensive lineman body. Just go out there and work it, girl. She probably could have.
Some people are into big old gals. I got no problem with that.
Or could have been a wide receiver. Maybe she was really tall.
That's the other thing, though, is like you have to be at least 5'10" to play in the NFL, right? Unless you're like a punter.
Yeah, no. First of all, you're an undrafted free agent rookie. Maybe Pete Carroll's cool. He's not that cool. Maybe fucking just maybe try and make millions of dollars like you can by playing football.
Pete Carroll's a D-bag.
You don't like Pete Carroll either?
fucking hate Pete Carroll. Get
Why?
out of
Oh my god, I fucking
chewing
hate
gum and
Pete Carroll.
9/11 conspiracies, you douchebag.
Okay, Pete Carroll on the hot seat right now. Jiminy Crickets.
Super duper on the hot seat. He should have put her on his shoulders and wore a trench coat. That would have been more believable, actually. But anyways, this guy. So MMQB reported that the woman attempted to try to gain access to Siverand's room by wearing a Seahawks hoodie pulled up over her head. Team security personnel reportedly managed to see through the elaborate ruse, quote unquote.
The elaborate ruse.
Team. I don't know how elaborate this ruse was, but it didn't work.
Very
And now the
Ocean's
guy's out of a
11.
job.
Ocean's
So
11.
maybe he can play in the XFL, but he's fucked.
Yeah, whoopsie. That would be. He should put that on his resume for the XFL. You guys
Tried
want
to
entertainment.
into hotel. Yeah, look, if you're an undrafted rookie, you're already like your chances to make the team are already a long shot. Maybe he knew that, and maybe he was like, "There's no way I'm going to make this team." And he was like, "Fuck it, I'm going to make the most of it." But probably he's just stupid.
Dumb idiot. Oh well.
Unfortunate, but what do
We
you?
just got caught. We need to keep football alive, which is why I'm back for next week episode. The draft.
That's next weekend. You're coming in Chicago.
Yeah, buddy.
Okay. You have to. If you come over, you have to stay at least 15 feet away from us. I don't trust you at all.
Okay. Hugs
neither.
immediately.
Got it.
Not because of COVID. I just don't want to be near you. Wait, hold up. I didn't even get to say my best man. Did you think I was my own best man because I saved myself with that wheelchair story?
Yeah.
All right.
I thought that was your best man.
No, there's this lady, Dorothy Pollock in Michigan. She's 103 years old. And she just got out of like her lockdown at the nursing home. And the first thing she does is get a tattoo. She got tatted up, man. Got a frog. And she was quoted saying, "Yeah, I love frogs. They're the only thing I like more than beer and burgers." So shout out to her. She's my best man.
Solid old biddy. I actually heard that story on last podcast, and the story was afterwards, after she got her tattoo, it was also her first time on a motorcycle because one of the tattoo artists took her out on his Harley.
Time to live it up, 103.
You old biddy.
Get out there,
Yeah,
Gotta get it.
Never too late.
I want to throw out there right now that the Blackhawks just won 3-1.
Never say never.
They've been getting their asses kicked all series.
We're back.
Take that W. All right. We are actually here to talk about a movie that we watched this week. So that movie is Project Power. This is currently at 60% on Rotten Tomatoes, 57% from fans, which I was surprised to see, actually. I thought it was a little better than that. Whatever, we'll leave that up for debate later on. So this is a movie that debuted on Netflix this Friday, starring
Jamie Foxx.
I'm totally blanking.
Gordon Levitt.
Thank you. And every time I see Joseph Gordon-Levitt, I just assume that he's about 5'4".
He's so small, tiny. He's a tiny guy.
If you Google it though, it says 5'9". Do we believe that?
No.
0%.
How tall do we actually think Joseph Gordon-Levitt is?
5'7".
I was gonna say 5'6", right off the top of my head. I don't know though.
Maybe I'd give him 5'6" at most.
At most?
I don't know. So this is directed by a guy named Merrick Ariel Schulman. He's done a few things, but nothing of note necessarily. Nothing that I recognize, at least immediately. But I will say that I really like the way that this movie was directed. Some things that come to mind are the shot immediately of Jamie Foxx. So when you first are introduced to his character, Art, the Major, they do some very good, like ground up, spinning around him shots that kind of show just like a good background and him like as just looking menacing and big. Like Jamie Foxx isn't a huge guy either, but he's, I haven't been shy about this. I think Jamie Foxx is one of the most talented people on the planet. I would watch him do pretty much anything. So I absolutely was in for this from the jump. And that's just like a note on the directing from me. But
yeah, I thought the score and the setting was really well done too. I really liked
Or
the
the track.
both. I liked the sound and the music that they had in the background, but also just some of the intense like beats and the atmosphere that they had within the movie itself. And then the setting also it fit that like kind of upbeat, intense tempo with like being in the New Orleans slums where the whole building was like just graffitied left and right, and it was just that whole flame scene where they first introduced power was awesome, was well done as well. But what did you think, Mark? What did you like?
Let me and do you guys, can you think of another movie that was basically set in New Orleans? Because I can't. Like, it's not, everything's like New York, LA, or Chicago. And that's
True Detective was in Louisiana, right? I don't know if it wasn't New Orleans specifically though.
Yeah,
no, that was like in the boonies. Just
it was in the boondocks.
I love that as a setting, though. I'm sorry, Mark. Go ahead.
No, I thought the movie was just fine. I was frankly bored in the first half of the whole movie. I thought there was a lot of cheesy, corny parts throughout it. And I don't know. It's like Jamie Foxx is super talented, and it's unfortunate because I can't think of in the last 8 years a movie that I enjoyed him doing. He did Django in 2012, which was great. That was 2012, so 8 years ago. I mean, his last movie was he did Baby Driver. I guess you can give that to him. He was good in that.
I love Baby Driver.
Yeah, Baby Driver was awesome.
Did you love it because of Jamie Foxx?
I think he was a great villain.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm talking about Sleepless. He just did Robin Hood. It was
You're
like
mad about Sleepless, aren't you?
I'm just mad because Jamie Foxx is a great actor, and I think like these like action movies where he's either like a cop, like a badass cop, or he's just like this where he's trying to get his daughter back. I don't know. I just really didn't love it. I think he could play better roles than this kind of thing.
Let's set this up a little bit better, though, because what we're talking about is a movie on Netflix where the premise is you're in New Orleans and there are these pills out there now that drug dealers are selling where you get 5 minutes basically of any superpower and you don't know what it is. It's going to be revealed to you once you take the pill and you either explode or wind up with that superpower. So that said, Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a cop in New Orleans, and Jamie Foxx is kind of just a guy who's
he's a dad.
Without spoiling it, like he's out on the run. He's trying to figure some shit out. He's trying to find some people. Okay, so he's also involved in that, and I think they did a good job of kind of keeping them apart because they are. I mean, that's huge star power. Jamie Foxx and Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I mean, massive, right? So I think they did a very good job, minus including Machine Gun Kelly in this. Why does he keep getting acting work?
Knows a guy.
He's honestly, he's getting extremely popular. He's got a very young follow. Like the music he's putting out right now is, I actually kind of respect it because he went back to the rock genre and he's putting out shit with Travis Barker where it's like got the early 2000s Blink-182 vibes. He's put out 3 songs in the last month that are actual bangers. But should he get acting gigs? I don't know. But there's other people in Hollywood that were musicians, and I'd rather see Machine Gun Kelly because I think just like his look and everything, he'd be better suited. And I didn't think he was a terrible actor by any means. But
not a fan. I mean, he was in Bird Box. He was in this. Maybe it's just like a Netflix thing where they look at him and they're like, "Hey, we'll give you $50 to come be in this movie."
Yeah.
I think it's also important to note. Comics Misexplained in the chat says, "I was impressed by the visual graphics for a film that I thought would have a smaller budget." That's an excellent point because I thought the graphics in this were fucking outstanding. The VFX were absurd, and especially for like a superhero movie, you got to be on top of stuff. Like it can't look cheap and corny. I think it was probably like on par with a blockbuster movie. Especially, there's a certain scene where like a big confrontation happens, and a woman is kind of like just in this big jail cell type enclosure. I thought that was brilliantly done as far as the way her powers were displayed. The way it was shot on the outside of that, because you're kind of in her first person view, like looking out and there's a battle going on. I love that. I thought it was really well done.
I thought the VFX for Machine Gun Kelly's part in the beginning where he's on fire, that was actually very well done too.
It was certainly the best part of his appearance.
Him on fire.
I feel like the enclosure scene was a quick way to kind of limit the budget for the VFX, because that whole fight scene with Jamie Foxx like fighting in the background, they kind of miss a lot of the huge fight choreographed like scene, but they did it like subtly.
See, that's the thing, is like you can do hand-to-hand combat where you just shake the camera all around and shit, and you don't have to worry about choreography, or you can find a creative way around it, and that's what I appreciated about the way they did that scene.
Boom.
Yeah.
Mark, would you have liked this
What do you
movie?
think about this? What did you like or not like?
I was gonna say, Mark, would you have liked this movie better if this was like a Robin origins story? If he was
No.
Robin.
Mark would have liked this movie a lot better
Oh.
had he actually been fucking paying attention to it.
I thought you meant like the Robin is an actual character in this movie. I thought you meant like her origin story.
No, like I'm talking about if
You're talking about
Robin from
Joseph
the Dark
Gordon-Levitt.
Knight. Yeah.
Yeah,
No.
of course.
Mark, before you hopped on, Brick, Mark was asking me like, what happened with this, and this? Like, you weren't even fucking paying attention. You were just hammered all weekend, not even fucking watching it. I think that if you watched this and actually paid attention, you would actually appreciate it, because I thought it was pretty well done.
It was solid. It wasn't like anything to blow a load
Considering what we've been getting recently,
over. Sure.
and especially for a Netflix superhero movie. Like, Mark, one of your questions to me was, did you like this better than The Old Guard? And my answer is unabashedly yes. This was way better than The Old Guard.
Mm-hmm.
Well, like
And I know that's based on some comic book material. Brick, you didn't watch The Old Guard, but I really like this. So I don't really know what else to say about
Should
it.
we rate it? Should we rate it?
Yeah, Brick, go ahead.
Save it. If you see it, cool. You don't need to go out and watch it. Maybe you'll like it. Who knows? It was like fine.
Mark, what would you rate it if it was called Grayson?
See it. Absolutely. No. I'm gonna give it a save it though.
Okay. I would absolutely say see this. I think that it's a turn your brain off type of movie. You enjoy it. There's good action. I think the acting is very well done. As much as I shit on Joseph Gordon-Levitt for being short, he was really good in this. Even though he was wearing that Steve Gleason jersey the entire movie. That was, I mean, I get it. You're from New Orleans.
I loved the Saints in the background because they do the Whaaats chant. I went to the New Orleans. New Orleans was amazing. I went to the actual preseason game last year, I guess. Amazing. Great city.
I'm fine with it. But like, you don't have to hit me over the head with it that hard. Anyway,
It was unreal. Most Saints things of all time is a Saints commercial half the
I
time.
think a lot of people watch these movies though, and they expect like a Marvel type blockbuster. Not everything's going to be that, especially if you're paying $10 a month to get it on fucking Netflix.
Yeah. Also,
You can relax, enjoy it.
you said this was a turn your brain off movie. Mark and I both turned our brains off, and we both said save it. So
Yeah, but your brain never turns on,
you
so
need to be paying attention, is what you're saying. Don't turn your brain off. You need to pay attention.
that helps.
It's gonna be kind of
Generally,
boring.
paying attention to a movie helps you enjoy it.
Not always.
You want to know what my biggest issue is with this whole movie?
I do.
They completely missed their chance to bring in Lil Wayne for a cameo. They fucking dropped the ball there. They fucked up. You bring in Lil Wayne and have him spit like a line, like walking down the street, just like, yeah. Would have been sick. Would have been amazing.
He was in the intro song, wasn't he?
You're in a movie with like the first time you're in downtown New Orleans and you don't have fucking Lil Wayne show
You
up
need Wheezy up there.
coming out of Holly Grove. What is good? Come on.
I
Botch.
will say though that Lil Wayne is not a New Orleans Saints fan, so maybe that's what turned him off.
Yeah, too much Saints. Yeah, they should unless they were playing the Packers. He's actually a Packers fan.
He is.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying though. Like, probably some representation of people from New Orleans probably would have been better. I also, I will look. This movie definitely wasn't perfect, and I don't want to come off that way. Some of the stuff was real cringy. Some of the rapping stuff was a little weird. Jamie Foxx's relationship with one of the main characters, just like kind of encouraging her, it was a little off-putting. I don't know why. Like it's not uncomfortable or anything. Like it wasn't. I don't really know how to explain it. It was just cringy.
I guess Wheezy was in a song. I had no idea. Comics
He was in
explain.
The intro song that said that, and then you just
There you go.
watched it
You're
right
right.
over. But good call, Comics, to make Mark realize because he turned his brain off the first time.
My point is, you should watch this movie. Don't listen to these guys. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
If you had to get rid of one, Extraction or this movie, what would it be?
Extraction was better. Extraction was one of the best movies of this year, though.
Hmm.
That's not really a fair comparison. Like, I think this versus the Old Guard is much closer.
What about this versus what was the one, the Triple Frontier?
Oh, dude, this is
Triple
a billion times better than Triple Frontier. That movie sucked.
I don't know.
I don't know, dude.
Charlie Hunnam and Affleck. Come on.
You kidding me?
Movie was dog shit.
That dude, I would rather watch Triple Frontier than this again. I think.
You need to watch this and actually pay attention then, because clearly
I
you've
was-
forgotten how bad Triple Frontier was.
I was paying attention. I thought it was pretty cool.
Fuck, dude. I'm flabbergasted by this, but okay.
Recommendations: Triple Frontier.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Let's move on. Brick, give me your actual recommendation that is not Triple Frontier. Otherwise, I'll kill your mic.
Triple Frontier. Actually, good. Triple Fudge Sundays. I hear those are pretty good. I haven't had one in a long time. Triple Fudge, it seems a little rich for me. Rich for
I know
my
you're-
blood.
Can you actually give me a recommendation?
I don't have one. I'm trying to think. Umbrella Academy. I actually saw the first episode. It's pretty good.
First episode of season 1.
Correct.
I just finished season 2 this week. I thought it was excellent. It's very well done, very well acted. Even though if you get attached to certain characters in season 1 and they change pretty drastically in season 2. Not that that's a bad thing. Character evolution is never a bad thing. But just be prepared for that. I think it's a great series. I love it.
I'm into it.
Okay. Mark, what about you?
Honestly, I'm finishing Umbrella Academy right now, season 1.
Awesome. As always, I will carry this fucking show, because I have several recommendations. First of all, my wife has been watching reruns of Unsolved Mysteries, which are on Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
I know that I knew growing up that this show was bad and was poorly produced. But if you go back and watch it now, it has such a comedic effect that's just like, this is what people thought was good in the 90s. We're just shitty, fucking terrible CG. It's so bad, but it's so funny to watch. Also, if you guys, I know Brick, you listened to last podcast on the left. A lot of these stories that they cover, like as far as aliens go and shit like that, and some of the murders, a lot of that stuff's covered in this. And like, it's really interesting to see a visual front of those stories. So if you have Hulu, you can go watch old episodes of Unsolved Mysteries. It's really funny. I mean, not necessarily super funny because some people get murdered and shit. It's not that funny, but Brick, have you started watching Hard Knocks yet?
No, I heard it was all COVID episode first one. So
It's back. Yes. So it's all like Zoom. Everything is just like coaches talking to their players and shit via Zoom. It's back. Every year I get super hyped for Hard Knocks, and then I watch it and it's like, okay, this was fine.
Exactly. It is what it is. I'm going to watch 2 episodes on Tuesday. It comes out every Tuesday, which is always wonky, but football's back. It's Chargers and Rams, right?
It is. Both
So-
in LA, so that's just kind of like the storyline.
Is Liev Schreiber narrating?
Yes, always. Like that's what he does. He found the perfect role. He's just like a voiceover guy. He doesn't have to do any actual acting. He just drops sometimes like one-liner jokes.
Mhm.
And man, I would kill for that job. So the other thing I'll say is that Lovecraft Country starts tonight on HBO. It's kind of their I mean, if you know H.P. Lovecraft, it's kind of like a supernatural type like Cthulhu and these other monsters and shit like that. Lovecraftian lore is a big genre right now, and this is kind of going back to the 40s, 50s, I think. And it deals with race relations and shit like that. It kind of has a bit of a Watchmen type vibe to it. You know, when they did the flashbacks to that town in Kentucky and shit like that. So I'm excited for that. That airs tonight at 9, I believe, which is about 24 minutes. So I'll be watching that, and that's my last recommendation.
Did you guys watch Last Chance U, the new season?
I could never get into it.
Really? I always found it interesting.
Okay.
I recommend that though.
Good or
No, I always like this one was in Oakland, one of the JUCOs in Oakland. And I mean, if you've never watched Last Chance U, it's on Netflix for our listeners. It's if you're missing football right now and you need some football in your life, basically just follows all these junior colleges where their main thing is their football squad and getting their players to go up to like a Big Ten, a higher conference for football, and them getting picked up by some of these bigger schools. But yeah, a lot of these kids are having trouble in school, or they get kicked out or whatever, but they're all football studs. And it's kind of interesting to watch, them go this different route to make their football dreams happen. So last chance.
Rick, do you think the NFL happens this season?
Yes, wholeheartedly.
Okay. You think they go all the way through the Super Bowl?
Yeah.
All right. I will be shocked.
I'm a believer.
I mean, obviously, I want football to happen. I just think it'd be fucking... If they pull that off, it'd be a goddamn miracle.
That's me.
So Comics Misexplained in the chat says, I just watched those new Unsolved Mysteries with my wife because all wives are secret serial killers. That is correct. They all are. They will all murder you. Mark, Kelly is going to kill you in your sleep.
It's probably true.
All right. That is a perfect way to end this show. Thanks for watching, everybody out there. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subscribing. If it's not too much trouble, find us on iTunes and leave us a review. We really appreciate that. It actually helps us. If we can show up on the charts, that would really put us out there to more people. So we really appreciate that support. You can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. You can find us on Twitch and YouTube, _Chumpcast. Our D&D stream will be back for our 14th submission into the Descent into Avernus campaign this Tuesday night at 7. I have been completely reworking our overlay so it doesn't look so shitty. So I hope that works out. Mark, what else you got?
You pretty much covered it. We were all in a different part of the universe for this show. I'm super hungover guy. Brick is just high guy as usual, and you're obviously getting into your drunken stupor.
Getting litty.
You usually do.
What are you gonna do?
But thanks for sticking around to everyone. Comics Misexplained. Appreciate you holding it out for the whole show. We appreciate that.
Always.
All right, I'm gonna tell Mark to shut up now. Thanks for tuning in. As always, you can find us on all social media platforms at the Chumpcast. Until next time.
Show us out, motherfucker. Peace. Sick. See ya.
Back. No, you can't unadd me. I can add myself back.
Oh, power moves. Oh, see you later.
No, stop
And
doing
we've
that.
got a heavyweight.
Motherfucker.